Hi, my name is Jers. I'm from Hong Kong and I'm a tattoo artist. I got my first tattoo when I was 19, and that was the first time I was in a tattoo shop, and what I saw on the walls and all the artwork on skin just totally amazed me. And then eventually I found my way into an apprenticeship, and I've been doing that since 2008. Well, when I first started, I didn't even tell my parents. I was apprenticing for a year and a half, and then it was then that I was sure that I want to go into the industry, and then I told them, and of course they went nuts. Friends, I would say they didn't understand. I mean, coming from Hong Kong, it's a very practical place, basically. People are in finance or in, the traditional profession, and so they didn't understand, but now they do. Now they see that I've been doing it for a while, and I would say a lot of them are actually quite jealous that I'm, doing what I love for a living. So my father, he was worried when he first knew that I was in tattooing, basically. He just didn't know that this could actually be a profession, and so he wasn't the biggest fan, but to begin with, he's quite an open-minded person. So I think it was 2 years in, more or less, then he started to actually go to the shop where I worked at, and he tried to understand what it's about now, and then he realized that it's just totally different from what he thought and how it was in his generation. So, and he accepted it, and then it was about a year or so ago that I actually tattooed him. We started going after our own passion and dream about the same time, actually. So recently when I tattooed him, he was reading a book that's very inspirational to him, to find your own light, basically. And so there's this image in the book that we based on, and then I changed the design a little bit. And for him, I think it's a little to show his support for me, and also to remind himself to keep doing what he's doing right now. But he's totally fine with it after he got it. I don't know. He didn't say much afterwards, actually. Sometimes I tease him that he'd be showing off to his peers or to young girls when he does outdoor activities, but I don't see him bragging about it much. It's more of a subtle situation, I suppose. Well, in Hong Kong, when I started 7-8 years ago, I would say it was right at the transitional period from the old era to the new era. Right now in Hong Kong, I would say we're officially in the new era in terms of social acceptance, getting away from being just an identity of being a negative member of the society to more of a artistic self-expression kind of thing. I would say in general, the contemporary tattooing, the development of modern tattooing or artistic tattooing, it's a little behind in China or in general in Asia, more or less, compared to the Western countries, the Western world. But we're getting there. I'm quite positive about it. Well, I published this book about the tattooed people in Hong Kong last year. It's all those, they're all people that I have tattooed, but they don't only wear my work. They've also collected work from other artists. But the whole point of doing the book was to to basically document where we are right now in tattooing in Hong Kong. There are a lot of reality tattoo shows that people in Asia have seen, but they're all in Western culture. And so it's good that it arouses their interest and understanding of the art form, but at the same time, there's still a big excuse on, you see, like you can do that kind of stuff in the Western world, but not here. But to publish this book is to let people know that this is also happening right here. So yeah, it's kind of a a wake-up call for them, I suppose. Surprisingly, it did influence quite a few more, the older generation. Quite a few of my clients or friends' parents saw either the book or interview of me talking about the book, and they apparently have very positive change on the thought of tattooing. So there was this example of two of my clients' parents. They were never, they were not that against it, but they were never really keen about having tattoos on their son and on their sons. And after watching the interviews and me talking about a book or reading a book, they actually actively asked them to show them their tattoos, and then one of them actually came to visit me.
I'm Rocky. I've been tattooing for 2 years now. I got apprenticed by Wes from Wes Tattoos. He's the owner of the shop. It's in Maple Ridge, BC, Lower Mainland. His shop has been in the small town for about 14 years, and he's pretty renowned there in the small town. So when I was going to school for art for like 4 years, I studied at USC, and then I studied at Emily Carr, and I decided I'd go for it and apply for tattooing for an apprenticeship, and it worked out, and here I am now. This is my first convention, and it's been pretty awesome so far. I got into tattooing because, well, it started off that I just always drew a lot as a kid. I was kind of a little bit of a dork, and I didn't like TV, and my mom always got us to draw pictures and stuff, and it just felt like the only thing that made me happy. And when I was a little girl growing up, I wanted to be an artist. I didn't really know what that meant. I just knew that I wanted to draw or paint or just not be normal, I guess. When I first got apprenticed, my Wes put me up to, he just said, draw me this, draw me that, to see if I could go for it, because that's kind of what happens in the business. Somebody comes in and they request something and you have to be capable of doing it. So he had me drawing pictures, and I'd finish one and say, okay, what next? And he'd tell me, and then eventually he just kind of said, draw whatever you want, and let's get you a room set up. So then I had myself set up, I bought my equipment and stuff, and then he had a buddy of his that was going to let me tattoo him for the first time. I didn't practice on fake skin or anything, and then I guess the guy, he didn't show up that day, and then my boss looked down on his leg and said, well, I guess you can tattoo me. So I ended up tattooing my boss for the first time, so that was pretty intense, but it was pretty awesome too. I think tattoos are a pretty big like culture shock to different cultures, but I've always loved them and loved art, so I'm pretty grateful that in our culture it's acceptable and becoming more acceptable. I mean, you still get weird comments from people. Often people that are a little bit older will say like, what about when you're a grandma? What are your grandchildren going to think and stuff? But I just kind of tell them, well, I'm going to be wrinkly and old either way.
Hi, my name is Maya Lanticho. I was originally from the Philippines, born and raised in San Pablo City, Laguna, Philippines. I moved here on June 1999, to be exact. And yeah, I'm still doing the traditional hand tapping technique called batek from the Kalinga region and the northern part of the Philippines. Yeah, I've been tattooing for a long time now, and I was just trying to get back into my roots, which is the old traditional way of hand tapping. I also do the hand poking style, and yeah, of course the modern thing, which is the machine. I do a lot of black and gray, and you know, we're trying to bring back and preserve and promote again the dying art of the traditional tattooing. That's why I tried to learn it more again and went back to the Philippines and met the oldest living tattoo artist in the world, which is Apo Wangad from the northern part of the Philippines, Kalinga, to be exact, Buscalan. Yeah, it's from Buscalan. And then, yeah, bring it back. You know, bring back all those things that I learned from her and all the techniques that is really important to keep the tradition going. And then, yeah, but I do sort of modified it so I can pass the Health Board of Canada, of course, right? This is the actual things that we use back home. You know, just stone and some charcoal. And what I'm using right now is this and the disposable needle. Right, so easier to sterilize and autoclave, so everyone is safe. And when we do it, most of the time we do consultation first, because every pattern means something. So we've been trying to make the custom design suited for the wearer or the receiver, right? So based on their stories, personality, genealogy, family, beliefs, and everything. And yeah, that's what I do.